All right, new here at 4:30. There's some controversy today at the Chicago Cultural Center.
Some people are offended by one of the new exhibits there. It displays a large puppet used at anti-Israel protests for the DNC. Courtney Sisk is here now. Courtney, some Jewish leaders apparently find these anti-Semitic.
And not just Jewish leaders, also city aldermen. 27 city aldermen have sent a letter to Mayor Brandon Johnson asking him to, they are basically asking him to rescind this, to take it away from the cultural center. They're arguing that a public building funded by taxpayers should not have art that can be seen as anti-Semitic or hateful. However, those in the Palestinian community say it's free speech, freedom of expression, and it would be censorship to take it down.
The images, the language, the effigies that we see fan the flames of anti-Semitism here in the city.
The Anti-Defamation League calling out what they say is an anti-Semitic display at the Chicago Cultural Center, a massive puppet depicting a bloody Uncle Sam and Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel.
That's one thing if we see it in the streets of Chicago. It's another thing when you start using City of Chicago taxpayer dollars to fund this type of hate.
The artwork was initially created for pro-Palestinian protest at the Democratic National Convention this summer, but the ADL believes the imagery only perpetuates hate against the U.S., Israel, and the Jewish community amid a time where anti-Semitic acts increased 325% in the past 18 months. 27 city aldermen agree.
This is something that has gone beyond the First Amendment issue and gotten to a level of hate speech. And that is not something we want to have in a government building, not to mention ignores the horrors of October 7th.
The Cultural Center is in Alderman Bill Conway's ward. He's one of more than 24 aldermen who wrote a letter to Mayor Brandon Johnson asking for the removal of the exhibit. The Cultural Center did place a content warning sign ahead of the display.
I hope this is something that can be quickly removed.
Not everyone shares that sentiment.
I'm happy that it's there. I'm glad that this perspective is being seen.
Hatem Abu Daya is the national chair at the U.S. Palestinian Community Network. While he doesn't know who made the piece, he knows it was present at his protests to denounce the U.S. sending weapons to Israel for the war in Gaza.
The U.S. armed Israel. That's what the art represents. And that is not at all anti-Semitic. It didn't say anything about Netanyahu's religion.
The Department of Cultural Affairs responded to our request for comment, saying they are committed to upholding artistic freedom and expression and will continue collaborative dialogue with officials and community members to reach common ground. Now, the aldermen are also requesting that the mayor has the Commissioner of Cultural Affairs come to talk to the full council and explain the vetting process for how artwork gets to be on display. I did ask some employees who are there, and they say that the artwork in that portion of the building is typically up until April. Unclear at this time if it's going to stay that way.
All right, we'll just have to keep following and see what happens. It's a discussion right now, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.